picture of us, my Ruth Cruise lunchbox.
Oh, once in your life, find someone
You are the greatest daddy.
who will turn your world around, pick you up when you're feeling down. Now nothing can change what you need to me.
I can swing on the swing by myself.
There's a lot that I can say, just hold me now.
Even though I miss you pushing me.
'Cause our love will light the way.
Can't you see me?
Baby, you're all that I want. When you God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains.
Just in case you come home and kiss me goodnight. I love you so much.
We're in heaven.
I miss you, Daddy.
The views and opinions expressed by the On the Spot with David Rodgers show are solely based on the show's hosts, guests, and viewers. We are solely responsible for all show content in its entirety and does not necessarily reflect the opinions of any sponsors in any way. These broadcasts are presented and made public by the On the Spot with David Rodgers team in the hope that it'll be entertaining and informative to our viewers and listening audience. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, children of all ages, it's 7 o'clock and time for On the Spot with David Rodgers. And now, here he is, Mr. Friday Night, the show pony himself, the man, the dream, the legendary David Rodgers.
Good evening, folks, and welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm the show pony himself, David Rodgers, alongside Mr. Michael Heater with Super Dave Holland behind the scenes trying to keep us out of trouble. Great to have you along tonight. Tonight's show is sponsored by Miracle Automotive and Towing. When you need automotive help, don't pray for a miracle. Call Miracle for 24-hour towing service and a full-service auto repair. Call 904-358-1114. Miracle Automotive and Towing, where miracles, Michael, happen each and every day. Let's get the show started as we always do with our prayer, our pledge, and our patriotic quote of the night. Ladies and gentlemen, everybody that's watching, welcome into the show. We're going to go into prayer. If you'll please bow your head. Our righteous Heavenly Father, let us once thank you again for a wonderful and glorious day you've given us, dear Lord. Thank you for this time that we have with the brotherhood that we have here, dear Lord. The On the Spot show with David Rodgers' crew and members, as we try to give the information as we see fit, dear Lord, and we try to disseminate it to our viewers and let our viewers decide and do what they want with that information. Thank you for giving us a great day again and a great week that you're going to give us. Thank you for letting us live in the greatest country in the world today, the United States of America, the most freest country, dear Lord, the most powerful country in the world today. Keep a hedge over protection over us, dear Lord. Put your healing hand on us too, dear Lord. We have our own issues and our own problems, but with your guidance, we can get through these issues and these problems. Thank you for the greatest military in the world, our United States Armed Forces, dear Lord. All those men and women that has given the ultimate sacrifice, and the ones that are out there today, dear Lord, keeping us safe from international domestic terrorism, dear Lord, and any other items and things, dear Lord, that's going to come with harm to us. Thank you for our first responders, dear Lord, each and every one of those men and women, past and present, as they keep us safe. We can go home at night, dear Lord, and know we can sleep safely. Our families will be safe because of these first responders. Thank you for the American worker, dear Lord, the truck drivers, the railroad workers, anybody that's on the front lines of America. Please keep a hedge of protection over them, dear Lord. Just keep them safe. Let's keep America moving, dear Lord. That's how we get growth here within America. And with your healing hand and your touch, we can make that happen. Any spoken or unspoken prayer requests, dear Lord, that you touch each and every one of them. Again, and bless the food that we receive each and every day, dear Lord, as it goes to the nourishment of our bodies and our bodies to thy service. Again, thank you for this day. Thank you for this night. Thank you for the company and our show guests that we're going to have tonight, dear Lord, as they're going to give a lot of information, a lot of history of Stark and their families and whatever else, dear Lord, that touches their heart that they want to give. Again, we ask for these things in your Son's name, Jesus Christ, and the congregation says, Amen. All right, let us stand for our pledge. And I'm going to ask Mr. Michael Heater, please, if he would lead us in our pledge.
Indeed. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Amen.
Amen.
All right. Thank you guys for coming on. Again, welcome to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers. Right alongside the dancing destroyer himself, Super Dave Holland back there. You got that dance going, Dave? You can show us later. You're working on it? You can show us later. Right alongside Mr. Michael Heater, Mr. Fantastic right here. Mr. Byron Bagwell will not be able to join us tonight as he's got a work issue, and we're going to talk about Mitchell Gunner later on as we get ready to close out the show. What do you have for a patriotic quote of the night, Mr. I was going to say Mr. Bagwell, but Mr. Heater,
that's fine too. All right, so I have a quote for you this evening. Let's see how well the audience and everybody does here like that one.
All right.
And if Byron's watching, Byron, this is for you.
Oh, boy.
The Constitution shall never be construed to prevent the people of the United States, who are peaceable citizens, from keeping their own arms.
I've seen this quote before. I have seen this quote before. Mr. Byron Bagwell did this. I'm going to say that's John Adams. I've seen this quote. Y'all better jump on the bandwagon with me. I got John Adams.
I'd say so too.
Okay, he's going with Adams.
Okay.
Dolph's going with Adams. Mr. Dolph's going with Adams too, right? He's like,
I'm going to go with the Reddish. They said Adams. I'm going to go with Adams.
All right, we all got Adams. Tommy?
I follow his footsteps, dog.
All right. You going with Adams too?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
I was thinking more of Samuel Adams. He's the renegade of the group.
Okay.
But, and he definitely wanted to keep the guns. But, his brother's just as powerful in that direction. So I'm going to go with John Adams also.
Okay. Let me see. I don't have anybody that's taking a guess. Y'all can guess there. How good are we?
Yeah. You want to go ahead and move forward?
Well, we can.
I
don't have any.
No guesses? Okay.
No.
I can truthfully look you in the eye and say you should have listened to the producer.
Really?
Sam Adams.
Samuel Adams.
I knew it was one of the Adams, man. Sorry about that, guys.
It was truly one of the Adams family. Not that Adams family. But yes, Samuel Adams was
I knew I'd seen that going. I was like, which Adams was that? Oh man, sorry guys.
I
Dave,
drug into that.
yeah. Well, and the producer went with us.
Yeah, that's exactly right. You gotta listen to him.
All right, guys.
Sam was a real rebel rouser.
He was.
Yes, he
indeed.
was.
Yes, he was.
Yes,
Very
he
much
was.
so. Very much indeed.
All right, hey, don't go anywhere because here comes the roundtable right after this commercial break.
Hey, Tornado fans, this is Kurt Miracle of Miracle Automotive and Towing, proud sponsors of Tornado Football. I want to welcome you to beautiful Stark, Florida at David Hurst Stadium, and thank you for letting us be a part of this community. We're here for more than your automotive and towing needs. We're here to be part of Tornado Country. Go Big Red!
Here we are. This is the roundtable. We go around the region, around the table with the latest news and notes. Brought to you by Harry Business in the Deerfoot Plaza, home of the $10 haircut. Call Dave Holland and Company at 904-964-3338. Open Monday through Saturday, 9 to 5. We begin in Alachua County tonight, ladies and gentlemen, where a motorcycle driver killed in a traffic crash on Archer Road in Gainesville. Gainesville police say the 23-year-old rider suffered serious head injuries following the collision between the motorcycle and another vehicle.
In Marion County, one person was shot to death and another received a gunshot wound to the hand after an attempted robbery and drug deal that went bad in the Greenway Trailhead of Marion County. Jordan Matthew Neal, age 19, of Bellevue, was arrested for second-degree murder and armed robbery charges with a firearm. The deceased was identified as Cameron Cole Dalzell, 18, of Silver Spring Shores.
Governor Ron DeSantis issued an executive order activating the Florida National Guard to assist the Florida Department of Corrections to reduce overtime and provide relief for correctional officers on a temporary basis. DeSantis approved pay increases to recruit and retrain correctional officers, and these incentives have led to a net gain of nearly 640 officers since the conclusion of the 2022 session.
Yes, indeed. David, the National Transportation Safety Board issued a preliminary report that the aircraft that crashed along County Road 214 near Melrose on July 30th was a Tango 2 gyrocopter. The two occupants on board were killed. The NTSB added that the rotor blades on the vehicle was missing and was found 100 yards from the wreckage 4 days after the crash.
Oh, man.
Finally, Newberry High School football coach Jerani Rollins was found guilty of 3 misdemeanors after a trial in Lake Butler last Wednesday. He was charged with trespassing, resisting arrest, and interfering with school function charges after he was ejected and engaged Union County deputies during the varsity football game on October 29th between Newberry and Union County.
Yeah, David, it was actually pretty interesting following the trial. It turns out that after being ejected, refusing to leave, got into a verbal altercation and then decided he wanted to fight the deputies who had to use physical restraints to take him to the ground in order to get him off the field.
So now these charges, they're misdemeanors, right? They're misdemeanors. There's 3 of them, correct?
Yes, that's correct.
Yeah, so I know that I guess the official sentencing was today.
That is correct. Yeah, he was. Yeah, they're.
Do you know what the outcome was?
The actual. Yeah, it's going to be basically.
Probation.
Basically, probation service like that. We'll know more in the days to come. The question is going to be is how does this affect the Newberry football team and his employment status, and that is to be determined by Alachua County.
Yeah, and believe it or not, I'll tell you a little story just before we go here. I used to work with Jerani Rollins over at FedEx Express between 2010 and 2015, so I know this young man. And I'll be honest with you, this is not what this young man's about. Again, he helped me out when I first started with FedEx. Very friendly, very team-oriented. You know, sometimes, when you get in the heat of battle, Kurt, you know how it goes in football games. Sometimes your temper gets to you a little bit, and sometimes you make wrong choices. And again, I'm not saying he did or he didn't here because I don't know all the extenuating circumstances. But, hey, it is what it is at this point now.
True.
All right, let's take a look at the weather. And there is a chance of some cooler temperatures coming, Mike. Is that true?
It is.
All right. Well, over to you with the weather.
Service on Facebook and have a detailed local forecast sent right to you. You're absolutely correct, David. We got some changes coming ahead for Wednesday. A cold front. Okay, all right. a cool front. It will be making its way through the area, but this will bring some drier air to the region, but still a chance of rain every afternoon, but the chance of rain will be decreasing. We'll get into that in a few minutes, but let's talk about your favorite topic, the pollen count. And as you can see, the numbers are elevated once again for all the way through the week. However, a little bit of a respite on Saturday. The pollen numbers will drop. Again, we're talking ragweed, we're talking grasses, and the chenopod's. It's the same thing that we've been dealing with. But we will see a decrease as we go through the weekend. Again, for that, it's because of the rain amounts that we've had. And we've had a lot of rain. The good news is that the lake levels are slowly, I wouldn't say they're dropping, but their water's not increasing and rising as it was beforehand. Right. And we are looking for highs Wednesday to be in the mid-80s, and the drier conditions continue into Thursday. Let's take a look at the tropics, because that's going to be a big thing. Okay, let's take a look at the regional forecast first, then we'll go into the tropics. That's fine. You can see 80s stretching across the entire region, from Pascagoula up to Charlotte. Low 80s in Charlotte. It's going to be a beautiful day up there. Atlanta at 84 degrees. It's another beautiful day. Looking at temperatures around 90 degrees in Tallahassee. The chances of rain increase the further south you go. So Stark, 87 degrees, a chance of afternoon showers, more intense, widespread rainfall when you get from Orlando south at 89 degrees. Now let's take a look at the tropics. And as you can see, we have two disturbances out in the Atlantic Ocean. Better shot of the one closer to the Windward Islands over the next 5 days at 40%. If this holds together, David, and I don't think it will because it's going to move over Hispaniola and Cuba, it will likely make its way towards Texas and the Mexican coast that way. I don't see it being an impact on Florida directly, but way too early to tell on that one. Another one way out further in the Atlantic, right off of the Azores. That's going to be about another 10, maybe 20% of the next 5 days. Nothing to worry about on those. We'll continue to track this. Austin's Weather Service on Facebook has the latest information on those as well. Let's take a look at the local forecast because, as I said, drier conditions will continue into Thursday. Best chance of rain for wet weather, again, say south of I-10 headed down towards Marion County. Will be in the mid-80s. We get an increase in moisture kicking back Friday into the weekend with higher rain chances and storm chances coming in. Again, as you can see, it's afternoon thunderstorms. Wash, rinse, repeat. It's going to be the same thing over and over again. By about 2:15, rain will be kicking in. Look for high temperatures around 87 degrees all the way through the rest of this week. Lows in the lower 70s. And that is your weather forecast, Dave.
All right, Mike, I'm going to ask you something about Friday night. Tornado football Friday night. We'll be at Citizens Field, at least at this point. What's the weather supposed to be around that time? 6 to 8 to 9 to 10 o'clock.
It could be something as simple as what we're experiencing right now with partly cloudy skies and comfortable conditions.
I'll take that.
Or we could have a repeat of what happened last Friday night where we could have some severe storms rolling through the area. The good news is that I think what's going to end up happening is that the frontal boundary that moves through, if it shifts back to the north as a warm front, we're going to see an increase in rain showers. If it just completely dissipates, then I think we'll be okay. Right now, I'm going to give it about a 40% chance of rain. Might increase. We'll know more tomorrow with the models that are going to be running. But at this point, I think we're in good shape. Here's the question that has come up. I have been asked by several people. Is Citizens Field going to be in a condition to play on? And the rumor is that may end up becoming a Bradford home game this Friday night. We are waiting to hear that. We're going to be getting that coming down the pipe.
I'm glad you said that, Mike, because I was going to get into that.
Yes, indeed.
If we get rain Thursday afternoon and it's significant, that field is already soaking wet. And the coaches have been... We may get another home game out of this, and that would be ecstatic for me. I tell you, I'd rather much be in our own press box.
Now, but again,
that's because that field, it's new and the drainage.
And again, this goes back to what we talked about when we did Splash Bash for the 4th of July. The whole reason we do it at the football stadium was because the water doesn't hold. It drains out nicely. It's a safe place to play. We don't have to worry about everything conditioned. So here's the deal, though. Dry conditions through Thursday. Now, still a chance of rain, again, south of I-10. Basically, the 301 corridor from about Stark and Gainesville southward, we'll see an increase in showers and storms. We'll have to wait and see how this plays out. We're looking at about 30 to 40%. May hold off until Friday. But if Gainesville gets a decent amount of rain on Thursday, we could see a home game here in Bradford.
Absolutely could. We'll take it.
There you go.
All right. Thank you for that weather update, Michael. We appreciate it. Now, we're getting ready for trivia. Of course, trivia on Wednesday nights. Mr. Michael Heater hosts that over at the Fun Point.
Yes.
It starts right at 7 o'clock sharp. And then Thursday night at 7:30, I do trivia at the Downtown Grill. Yep. Mike, what do you have over as far as, have you changed anything since last week?
We're going to be kicking off. So next week, we celebrate our 1-year anniversary.
All right.
I will tell you that you're going to want to come out for trivia. I'd invite you out tomorrow night, but the following week, the 21st, will be our 1-year anniversary. Appetizers on me. Appetizers for all the teams that participate right off the bat. So there's no...
Let me make sure I write that down.
Make sure you write that down. Come out and enjoy trivia on Wednesday night. Free appetizers for every team that participates on the 21st. We are making a change on our appetizer poker. We're still playing the poker game. However, we're changing the way the scoring is done. It's going to make it much more fair, much easier ways for us to account for points. I think everyone's going to enjoy it. Real excited because the TV Guide trivia has really taken off.
Has it? Is it better than the music?
No, the Name That Tune is still everyone's favorite.
Okay.
And of course we have You Gotta Be Kidding, which is a crazy, stupid law still on the books in the United States. I tell you the law, you tell me what state it's in. Not as hard as you think. We give you some clues to figure that out. But all in all, we have a great time. Had 7 more teams last Wednesday night. Had a great time. As always, invite you to come out with us. Wednesday nights, 7 p.m. sharp at Fun Point.
And I had 9 teams, so I don't know what happened. So we had 16 teams. I had 9 teams last Thursday night.
There you go.
And, of course, we have what we call And the Answer Is.
Yes.
So what happens is I just give you a category. I'll give you the answer tonight, Kurt. Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. And you just come, and that's the easiest 5, 7, or 9 points you'll ever get, depending if there's some bonus.
There you go.
So, hey, easy 9 points. And I've got the trivia answer right here. And it's right up Mike Heater's alley. You know he's a big Styx fan.
Huge. Yes.
Big Styx fan. So it's like, what word could I come up with? And what is that word, Mike? Since you are a big Styx fan, I'll let you give him the answer.
And it's one of your favorites, too, I know.
Oh, no, it isn't. Because that is not one of my favorite songs.
Domo arigato, Mr. Roboto. It is Roboto. Roboto is the answer is for trivia. Thursday night, team trivia at the Downtown Grill.
There you go, Roboto. Just remember that.
There you go.
All right. And now, here, okay, guys, y'all got to pay attention. Dolph.
Gotta pay attention.
And Drew, Tommy, you got to pay attention. Now, here's everyone's favorite segment of the show that brings back a little history, brought to you by our great media partners, WEAG Eagle Country 106.3 FM, Chuck and Mary Kramer and Lynn Vellis, mine and Byron's boss on Friday nights, and Michael's boss when he does some commercial do-overs and some things like that, and the Bradford County Telegraph and their great staff, including owner John Miller, editor-in-chief Mark Crawford, the ad guru himself, J.R. Tillman, and, of course, Mr. Photogenic himself, Cliff Smelly. Here's what's the date. Oh, boy. All right, these are the headlines from the Bradford Telegraph during the second week of September in what year? Got to listen up.
Go.
Start truck route expected to open this week. Ooh. Agreements help pave way for State Road 100 overpass. Mm-hmm. EPA questions wastewater quality in creek. Mm-hmm. And Kiwanis Women's Club helping young readers. Was that the second week, Tommy, in September of 2017, 2018, 2019? Don't answer yet because we're going to help you out. Start truck route expected to open this week. Agreements have paved way for State Road 100 overpass. EPA questions wastewater quality in creek. Kiwanis Women's Club helping young readers. Was that the second week of September of 2017, 2018, or 2019? Here's some clues. I'll read the first one. Mike, you read the second one.
Okay.
I'll read the third one. You read the fourth one.
Works for me.
The Florida Department of Transportation was scheduled to open the Start truck route to traffic, weather, and unforeseen circumstances permitting. So weather it happened. Yeah.
The Florida Department of Transportation answered city commissioners' questions and discussed the easement and maintenance agreements necessary for the advancement of the State Road 100 overpass project in Stark.
The Environmental Protection Agency will start to meet more stringent standards about the quality of treated wastewater the city releases into Alligator Creek.
All right. And finally, students at the Episcopal Children's Services Head Start program received a free book every month and other literacy resources provided by the Stark Kiwanis and the Women's Club of Stark.
There we go. Gave you a little hint. Stark Truck Route expected to open this week. Agreements help pave way for State Road 100 overpass. EPA questions wastewater quality in Creek. And Kiwanis Women's Club helping young readers. Was that September, the second week of September in 2017, 2018, and 2019. This is where we get everybody involved, Kurt, and to include our viewing audience, because if you get it right, you get your name put, Mike's fixing to get his computer ready, you get your name put into a drawing that we have at the end of the month, and you have a chance to win a $25 gift certificate to the Downtown Grill. So, we had winner last week for the third time.
That's right.
Miss Shirley Bagwell.
That's right.
Shirley Bagwell has won this thing 3 times.
Yes, she has.
So she's gotten to eat at the Downtown Grill. She comes there on Thursday nights for trivia anyway, so she's gotten to use her card. So this is where we're going to introduce our viewing audience, and we're going to get to you gentlemen here in just a minute. Lorenzo Jones, who's my boss over in Lake City at New Millennium. Hello, Lorenzo. Paige Smith Anderson is watching. Randy Brooks is watching. Anthony Black from Tallahassee, Florida is watching. Roy Jackson's watching. Susan Cunningham's on. Dave Holland's on.
I know him.
Junior.
Junior? It doesn't say Junior. I thought
Oh, okay.
he did say you were the dancing destroyer, though. I don't know what that means.
I'm watching you guys.
I hear you.
go.
Melissa Cribbs is on. Randy Scoggins is on. Christopher Lee Miracle is watching. Robert McGee said Quincy Adams. Yeah, I guess he went John Quincy. Yeah, that was a pretty good guess. Robert McGee's on. Jennifer Dodge is on.
Yep.
Christopher Lee Miracle says, good afternoon, guys. Sorry for joining so late. Hey, man, you can come on anytime you want.
That's right.
Anytime you want. So, Susan Cunningham's good evening. Dottie Hansen's watching. Austin Stevens with the weather service. And by the way, I got to say something else about Austin Stevens. Not only does he do our weather and gives our weather graphics, he also does our YouTube. So once the show is done, he will start downloading it to YouTube, and it'll be on YouTube the following night by 7 o'clock, and he's gotten actually faster with it.
Yeah.
He's actually putting it up early in the morning, so I want to thank Austin for what he does there. Bradford Middle School is playing tonight, right now in the third quarter.
Yep.
They're up 20-8. So that's a good thing.
I'll tell you what, that team is stout. I'm excited because I've been tracking their progress. They have done an amazing job, and that just shows the quality of players that's going to be coming up in the future. The future for Tornado Tornado football is bright. So I'm very excited about it.
Yeah, and here we go. I'm glad I got my comments back. Well, I didn't get all of them back. I actually hit the back button. But anyway, hey, just come on back on here. Susan Cunningham says 2019.
Hang on.
Yeah. Melissa Cribb says 2019. Roy Jackson says 2018. Lorna Reddish said she didn't get notified. I know she is. She watches the show occasionally. For some reason, I noticed it too. Did you get dinged when you hit the like button that we were on?
No.
Something's going on. We
That's
need to
okay.
check that.
What you can do is, and we'll create it. There's a graphic I can put on our page here like that.
Okay.
If you are on a computer, now your phone not necessarily, but if you're on a computer, laptop, or anything like that one, if you'll hover over the like button, or over to the right where there's the 3 dots, you can click on notifications. Make sure your notifications is set to on. This way, you get dinged when we go live. If you're using just your phone, there's another way to set it up in the top corner. I don't know exactly how
I'm not
to do
sure.
it. I set mine up on the
Maybe I've
laptop
figured that
computer, but there is an option for you to go to notifications, and then once you like On the Spot with David Rodgers page, you'll get notified immediately when we go live. Just have to make sure that your notifications is turned on Facebook.
Okay, so again, Susan Cunningham said 2019, Cribb said 2019, Jackson 2018, Lorna 2019,
Okay, hold on.
Lorna Reddish.
Reddish.
Yep. Benny Jackson said 2018.
Benny.
Yep. Chris Miracle said, hey guys, might be a Baker boy, but got to love you Bradford guys. Hey, always give us the important news out to everyone. So that's great that he said that.
Thank you very much.
We really appreciate that because we try to hit the whole region. Just not us. We try to hit everybody. We try to get news from everywhere within the region. And I think for the most part, we do a really good job of that. Good evening, brothers, sisters, patriots, infidels, and miscreants. Would you know who'd like to said that? Mr. Byron Bagwell. Yeah, just gave us a little hello there.
we go.
So, all right. We've got some guesses right now so far. I'm going to start with you, sir. 2017, 2018, or 2019? Do you think that happened?
2019.
2019. Dolph?
I have no idea.
Just give me a guess. 17, 18, or 19?
19.
19.
I'm going to say 19.
All right, Dixie?
I'll say 19.
18.
Tommy said that with conviction, didn't he?
He did.
He did. There's something there. He knows something. Dave?
Yeah, well, I'm not going to follow you guys.
Okay, you're not. Okay.
I'm going to go with 18.
So you're not gonna. You're gonna follow Tommy then. Okay. Mike? Oh, you can't
I
answer.
can't do it. Yeah. Okay.
Son of Jesus. Let me see again. I want to go with 18. Something tells me. Yeah, I know, but you just said that too confident. But some of those things, I agree, Kurt. I think I know a couple of them. I want to say 2019 too. I think there was a couple of things I remember in 2019. I'm going to say 2019. I don't have any more guesses here, so do we want to go ahead and give the answer?
I'd say let's take a look at the answer.
All right, and the answer is, wait for it, drum roll.
And
2019?
it is.
It's 2019.
There it is.
2019, gentlemen, great job.
That's it.
All right, great job, everybody.
Except
Except you, dancing the story, and you, Tommy. Yeah, you know what Tommy did? Let me tell you what Tommy did, Mike. This is what he did. We all just said 2019. Tommy said, I'm going to throw him off. 2018.
Yeah.
yeah.
This is and poor Super Dave. He's like, I'm not going with the group.
Yeah, I'm not going with the group, but he sure went with you, didn't he?
And if you had just swapped those around, you'd have been okay. But anyway.
Yeah, Shirley said 2019 , by the way. So
Okay,
she's
she's
in.
in as well. That's excellent.
All right, guys, thank you all for joining us tonight. We've got some special guests coming out tonight. We're fixing to have a full house. Mike's going to slide over into the director's seat over there with the producer. Tonight, I've got a special treat for you guys. I've got Mr. Drew Reddish. I've got Mr. Dolph Reddish. I've got Mr. Tommy Reddish. And I've got Mr. Kurt Miracle. They're going to be joining me, and we're going to talk a little history of Stark. How about that,
I'm
Mike?
excited about it. It's going to be great.
Yes, it is, especially some of the stories I've already been hearing. So I'm really, really excited to hear this.
That's it.
Dave, we're going to a commercial break?
We are.
Yeah.
Let's go to a commercial break, and we'll be right back. Oh, in the eyes and hearts of Bradford County. How about that? Look at there. Yeah. All right. So we got 3 minutes, right?
Yeah. All right, where do you want us to go to?
All right, so... Mr. Kurt Miracle, right here. is the man himself, Mr. Drew Reddish. Say hello, Drew.
Hello.
Hello, he says. And right here to my right is Mr. Dolph Reddish. Say hello, Dolph.
Hello.
Hello, he says. And back in the back, don't want to show himself, is Mr. Tommy Reddish, but that's okay. We're going to get him to talk in a little bit, right? Yeah, we'll get him a little bit. He wants to hide there. So, Dave, somebody said that we lost the sound. Did we get it back? We're good to go. So, we're back. There we go. Absolutely. So, we're back on. We're good to go. Guys, I'm glad to have y'all here. The reason that I've got you guys here, and it's very important to Bradford County. You know, when we do this show, Kurt watches this show quite a bit. Tommy's been on several times. We like to give What's the Date is a perfect example of bringing back a little history group. And that's the way that we can do it, is through some of our news segments and letting people guess, you know, when those things happen. So we do a little bit of part there. Of course, we like to bring our local news and things like that. But, you know, with me and Kurt and several of us have talked, and what a great segment to bring in. Maybe every once in a while, if we can get some other guests as well, in the eyes and hearts of Bradford County. And I thought that was a great subject and a great title. And the reason I think that is because that it tells the history from your guys' eyes. Y'all have been around a long time. Y'all have lived a long life. By the way, you guys look really great and fantastic. And I appreciate you being here. But we want to tell the audience, we want to show the audience and let the audience that may not know some things about you guys, your family, and just the history of Bradford County being told by you. So I always like to start off a little bit, and I won't make you say too much about it, but starting off with you, Drew. Give just a little bit of background about yourself, where you went to school, that kind of thing, and then we'll get back into the history of what you know about Bradford County.
Yeah, well, I went to school at Hilburn Springs through the 8th grade, and the school was within walking distance. As a matter of fact, we walked through the woods the 8th grade. And we only went to school until March, whenever we started planting crops.
Right.
And then Dolph and I and one or two of the other brothers, we fell out of school and planted the crop.
Right.
Every year. And then later, of course, we went to Stark School, high school, and that started in the 9th grade. And that was quite an eye-opener. That was a bigger deal than going to college, really. Because I had to put on shoes. we couldn't play fox and hound out there and run very fast with our shoes on, you know.
Right.
So we had to start wearing shoes to start, and I already had them on when I went to college. Then, of course, all squared away. But I went 4 years to Bradford, and then I went to the University of Florida, and I graduated in soils engineering, ag engineering, and also I got to the advanced ROTC. I got my commission there, and fortunate enough, I graduated in the top 5% of the class.
Nice, very good.
So I got the opportunity to apply for regular Army commission rather than reserve. In the meantime, I got married and went on active duty, and I forgot to tell her that I was going to stay. I told her one day, I said, "Oh, by the way, we're staying." She said, "You might be staying, but I'm not." By golly, I had to resign that, but I did come back to Stark, and I got a job with the DuPont Chemical Company.
Right.
And we were able to start out here with them, and I got in the National Guard here, and I became the commander here and captain, and then I moved to Delaware. I was on this at general staff up there. He happened to know our adjutant general here, Hard Hank McMillan, very well. He wrote me a great letter, so that didn't hurt a darn thing.
No, it sure doesn't.
So he put me in a slot that was TD, that was through full colonel. But anyhow, we lived in Delaware for some time, then transferred back here with a project that didn't turn out. And then we went to Australia for a while and started up a plant, then back here and retired from here with 40 and a half years of service with the DuPont Chemical. And very good company to work for, unbelievable. And I guess that's pretty much most of my...
You know, that's, I'm glad that you told that little story there. And of course, we're going to, about yourself, and we're going to get into some history here in just a little bit. But, I noticed that you said that you went to different places. Australia, very beautiful. I've been there myself as a serviceman, and some different areas. But you always came back.
Yeah.
Isn't that, me and you were talking off the air before the show started, and I told you that I was not originally from Stark. I came here in 92, stayed here a couple of years, moved away, and then came back, and I've been a permanent resident here since 1995. And I was telling you and Dolph that I just feel like I've known y'all all my life. It's the way that and Dave even said it, Dave's been around the same time. It just feels like y'all have embraced us, even though that we're outsiders, in a way. We wasn't, but we feel like we've always been a part of. I mean, I hear Kurt. Do you feel this?
That's Bradford County.
That's
what drew me here.
Okay.
Drew me here because of that. Everybody's friendly. Everybody. You don't meet a stranger here. You're going down the road. Most everybody's waving at you.
Right.
If you've been around for a little while.
It's kind of amazing that we had a number of engineers transfer in here, all over.
Right.
I think I hired one out of Puerto Rico, and I just saw him this week. And I had another one, Phil Pombert. He's now in charge of the plant out there. As a young engineer out of Michigan State, came down, and I was in charge of operations then, and he told me one day, he said, Drew, if something happens in Michigan, let me know. I'd like to move back. That was early on.
Right.
And so about 3 years later, Flint, Michigan had an opening for a half-level promotion. So I said, oh gosh, I'll call Phil. Called Phil and came in. Hey, Phil. He didn't pay much attention to me. And I said, Phil, I've got this opening up there. Half-level promotion. You ready to go? He said, you don't understand. I don't leave. I said, oh, you're one of those. And that was pretty much the way it was.
Right.
After I got here for a while, I didn't want to leave. And he's still here.
And I hear that, and I'm glad Kurt said what he said because, and I've known Tommy a long time. We've gotten to be pretty good friends too. And I hear other people saying that. They come here, Tommy. You know what I mean? And you get to get around everybody, and you start talking to people, and you get involved in things, community activities, whatever the case may be, and then you get to meet those people, and they just welcome you in. It sucks you up. There's something.
It's different here.
It's different. And I guess that's what I want to say because, when I left the service in Jacksonville, I didn't want to stay in Jacksonville. Jacksonville was way too big for me. I'm a small town boy. I'm from Pascagoula, Mississippi. It ain't much bigger than Stark, maybe a little bit, but we had the shipyard there. And I didn't want to go back home either. And we bought some land here, and man, it just drew me. And I just don't. This is my home now. And I hear a lot of people saying that, and you brought up a very good point of how this place can draw you in. You were just talking about your friend there. I'm not leaving. There's something about it, and maybe you can explain what it is. Is it what Kurt was saying? Is it the people? Is it just the atmosphere? Is it a little bit of it all?
A little bit of it all.
Yeah.
And one of the things about Stark is you can be in Gainesville out really quick. You can be in Jacksonville and back real quick. I did that this week. I was in Jacksonville, Dolph and I went up, checked things out with our hearing aids, and we're right back and out of all of it. And all of my neighbors, not all of my neighbors, but a number of my neighbors in the last 5 years are out of Jacksonville. And every one of them are tickled to death to be here, to get out of Jacksonville and drive back to work.
That's why I didn't stay over there.
It's amazing.
It is. Dolph, I know that you've been around a long time as well. Do you gentlemen want to give your age? Because I think our viewing audience would like to know how long that you guys have been on God's green earth.
I'm not getting old. I am old. I was 92 last Saturday.
Happy birthday, by the way, to you. 92, ladies and gentlemen, right here. Dolph?
I was 90 the 27th of August.
And 90, the 27th of August. So we got 2 birthday guys right here. How about that?
I'm the oldest 7 boys.
You're the 7 boys is what he told me. Yeah, he was telling me, and he's going to get into that story a little bit.
Wow.
You're the second oldest, right, Dolph? Now, Dolph, you were sheriff of Bradford County, right, at one time?
Yeah.
Yep. How long did you stay sheriff of Bradford?
16 years.
16 years. Wow, that is amazing. How long has Gordon been sheriff now?
You're trying to get me to talk, aren't you?
Yes, I am. Of course I am, man. I'm just trying to bait you in here. I think what 17? So it's close to him and Dolph are sort of.
Yeah, they've had the same time in, and then sheriff is he's in. He
Dad was 24 years.
Okay.
And then Dolph was 16, so the total they were 40.
Yeah.
40. Okay.
Yeah.
You say that?
Go ahead.
So Dolph,
My dad.
The sheriff too.
Yeah, before him.
what do you think about the sheriff's office today compared to when you were sheriff?
Nice question.
Y'all ain't got time to hear it.
Y'all ain't got time. Yes, we do. You take your time, sir, and tell us.
It's amazing how it's grown. The budget now, I understand, is $6.some million.
Right.
When I went out in '88, it was my last budget was $780,000,
Wow.
and I had
Oh my God.
25 total employees, and now I understand Gordon's got 98.
Wow.
Wow.
So it's grown quite a bit.
Now, Dolph, you know, we talk about Bradford County and its size. Now, when you was sheriff as your tenure there, did you still have the same area that pretty much exists now, or was there different areas?
No, it's the exact same area.
So back then, he was doing it with what?
25 people, that was including the jail population.
So that was including whoever's working the jail.
Yeah.
And now, what's the number? What'd you say it was, Dolph?
98.
98. Wow. And y'all was still doing the same job as
Well, it's grown quite a bit. I think he's taken on a lot of different things
Right.
that we were not involved with.
Right. No, I'm just talking
They
mainly
take on
the
environmental.
Right. Yes.
And maybe something else, I don't know.
Yeah, well, the fire was under him at one time. No more, right, Michael?
That's correct. He
So-
has taken the sheriff has taken on emergency management, disaster preparedness. He took on code enforcement, and he took on animal control and animal services.
Yeah.
Those are the big 3 that he had. Then he took fire. He gave it back to county, but he still retains emergency management, code enforcement, and animal services for the county.
Wow. Again, if you're just now tuning in to On the Spot with David Rodgers. I'm your host, David Rodgers. Over here to my left is our one of our main sponsors, Mr. Kurt Miracle from Miracle Automotive and Towing. Right here, this young man right here is Mr. Drew Reddish. He just looked at me like, oh, you're a young man. Yeah, Mr. Drew Reddish. And right over here to my right is Mr. Dolph Reddish. And in the back there, I don't know why, is Mr. Tommy Reddish. He just gives me the old salute there. We got our producer, Super Dave Holland, the Dancing Destroyer, and of course, Michael Heater, our director right here. Mr. Byron Bagwell couldn't be here. I know that he would love to talk to you two gentlemen. I know he's popping in and out of here. I'll tell you what, I love that story that you were telling me off air about how y'all, the Reddishes, became. Would you mind telling that story to our audience? I'll give you as much time as you want.
Oh, yeah, no problem.
So how did it become?
How did it start in Bradford County?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, actually before it became a state, really. Drew Reddish who was living in Odom, Georgia at the time.
Right.
They called him Drury then. The pronunciation was English, changed to Drew later. And he, as a young man, joined the fight for the Florida for the 1835 fight against the Seminole Indian with Andrew Jackson. And then after that was over, he went back home, and then in 1843, he followed Bill Crosby family down from Odom, Georgia, to the area, which is, Bill moved out on Bells Highway. And Drury got South Stark, 40 acres.
Right.
And he didn't get a deed to it until 1855, that range. I have it at home.
Right.
That's the exact time. Buchanan was the president then, and he signed a deed to Drew Reddish for that property. And I gave it the deed to the original to Santa Fe Community College last year.
Right.
To keep. I kept copies for the family. And that's the way he got down here, following Bill Crosby and his daughters. He had one that he was really interested in, named Hester, and she was 16 years old. He was 26. And he married her, and they had 7 kids, 5 girls and 2 boys. Of course, one of them we came out of William Drew. And then, let's see, my grandpa, his dad, William Drew, married Mary Ann Drew, who was a Minorcan, a small, real dark-skinned woman, that they moved over here from New Smyrna in this area and integrated into the area. And she had 14 kids. My grandpa was the oldest of 14.
14?
Yes, a little woman, very small. And she lived to be very old. She dipped snuff, smoked a pipe, and all that stuff.
I remember.
Yeah. She was, our great grandfather died at age 60 with a heart attack, but she lived into her 90s.
Wow.
Yeah, and there out of the 5 boys and 9 girls, and then you add my mother, who was one of 13 kids on the farm near us. There were 10 girls and 3 boys, and we're related to more people in Bradford County than anybody else. They're not named Reddish, they're named something else, like Rich, Griffiths, the Combs at Brooker, Edwards's Brooker, the Greens, the Connors. You can just keep on naming them. I saw a Shaw boy at the Rotary recently, and I said, "Do you realize we were kinfolk?" No. And then I told him how we were, and his dad and I were second cousins, and so now we call each other cousins. Marty Shaw, he moved in here not long ago, and it's just unbelievable how many relatives we have, and it's a great thing too. It's a great support system, to have them, you know. And I've got there were 7 of us. I'm the oldest of the 7 boys, and like I told all of them, I want you to pay your debts and be good citizens. And I'm kind of right now the oldest one, patriarch of the family, so I tell a lot of them what to do.
That's right.
Did he tell you what to do, Dolph?
Oh yeah.
Well, it doesn't mean that they do it. I just tell them. But like I say, they need to uphold the family name. And that's very important to me, that we uphold the family name. And that's what you're mainly live by, is your name.
Your creed.
Well, I can remember saying that where when the old saying was, if a man would lie, he'd steal.
That's right.
That's right. I agree.
That was part of to process, and people believe that's what they live by.
That's right.
See how things have changed. Everybody almost lies now. Congress and
Yeah, you're right.
You're right.
presidents and everything. It's all about politics.
You know, Dolph and Drew, I want to ask you something because I'm glad that Dolph brought that point up. When y'all was growing up and like what you gave that story, which was fantastic, by the way. I love that history, and I'm sure there's a lot more to that. Y'all mainly back then, and again, I'm saying that because, you know, you're older than me. Y'all lived by the Ten Commandments. Y'all were very God-fearing people.
Oh, yeah.
And because I just heard you say about lying and stealing, so I'm assuming that the Ten Commandments really came into play when y'all guys were growing up.
Well, also, by example, my parents would pay their debts, I don't care what.
Right.
If you didn't eat enough, you paid your debts.
Right.
And you didn't steal, and we never saw them do anything but right. And there's nothing like leadership to teach you those values.
Right.
And I remember working for my uncle in a little grocery store, and I had a lot of money, and I never ever thought of taking any money, putting it in my pocket that I could have done. And I come to find out from him that whenever I was working with him and he didn't have many more there, that he made more money any other time because others seemed to take money from him. And it's amazing to me. I never thought about it. Never thought.
Where was that store at?
Where was that? Where was the store at?
It was out at Hilburn Springs, between here and State Prison Farm.
Okay.
Where out at Water Oak Creek.
Okay.
Okay, I know what you're talking about. You know what he's talking about, right, Mike?
Yes, I
Water
do.
Oak Creek.
Yep.
The old store's still there.
Still there. Yeah.
Really?
Yes, it is. Yes, it is.
Yep.
Yeah, I just rode by it a while ago. Coming in.
Still sitting there right by the
I
creek.
saved enough money working for him, $5 a day, and after school I had a room there. I could get out and work anytime I wanted to after school. And a lot of people thought I was his kid rather than my dad and mom. But I gave my mom the $5 a day, and she bought clothes and all that for the kids. And
Right.
everything and other. But she was very thrifty, and my principal said one day, "Hey Drew, I need to talk to you, Scott High School." He said, "You need to go to college." I said, "Where's that?" He said, "Over in Gainesville." I said, "Yeah, okay. But that takes money."
That takes
So
money.
I said, "I don't know about that. Let me check." So I checked my mother, and I said, "Mother, we have any money stuck around?" She said, "Let me look under the mattress." She had $850.
Which is
Yeah.
it was back then.
That's the way it was. Yeah, you need to put your money in the
I gotta
bank.
tell you, I went to college my first year on $850.
Wow.
$45 per semester tuition for 2 semesters. And the second semester, I had pneumonia whenever I came home, and I missed 2 weeks. And I went back, and I already paid my $45. They said, "You can't make it. It's 2 weeks into the next semester." I said, "Well, I had pneumonia. I couldn't get here. But I'm here now, and I'm going to make it. I got $45 in bed."
Oh, you got $45 worth.
You get this $45 worth.
Finally, I had to talk to the provost, and I convinced him to let me give it a go. And I made better grades that semester I did the first semester.
Wow.
By the way, this gentleman graduated top 5% of his class. Right?
In military.
In the military. Still, that's pretty daggone good right there.
Probably good in any class.
Absolutely. I just want to get to a couple of comments while we're here. Steve and Cindy Fudge, which you know, they're watching the show, said hello, gentlemen. Today is Dakota's birthday, Michael. Did you know that?
Yes, I did.
Happy birthday, Dakota, by the way.
Yes,
Shirley Bagwell says, "You can travel the world, but you always come back to Bradford County."
She would be
I
the
did.
girl
She would-
to know.
I did.
She would be there. You did?
I
know.
did.
Yeah. And so, absolutely right.
Yeah.
Brian Johns, do you know Brian?
Oh, yeah.
He says, "I know Mr. Drew just had a birthday. Happy birthday, Mr. Drew," he says.
Oh, his dad was very close to me.
Yeah.
We worked together.
That's Charlie, right?
Yeah, Charlie.
Yeah, Charlie. So,
Great man.
Charlie E. John's Convention Center, Dave. That's how we know that, isn't it? How about that? There we go. So, I want to ask you a couple other things. Dolph, you can jump in anytime. So can you, Tommy. Yeah, see, I'm trying to bait you in, but he's not budging.
He knows a lot, but he can't remember as well.
He's got it down.
So, let's go back to your early years again, and let's bring it forward. Dave, can you bring up some of those pictures again? Can you go back, or you can't? I want to bring up some of these older pictures and see if you remember some of these things. But how has Bradford County changed over your life period till now? What was around during your time? I know you told me some of the things, but I'm talking just from you, not from your mother or your grandmother, from you.
Well, big families, you knew most everybody. And there were the Underhills, there were the Riches, there were the Reddishes, there were the Greens,
Griffiths,
so on. You know. Now there's so many people that it's just you don't know.
Right.
And it was all rural farming,
Right.
strawberries, row crops, and now most of it's a bed community for Jacksonville, Gainesville, that type of thing. People driving there to work more.
So
I would say.
When you was growing up, I know you were telling me the history of the of how they fought between Lake Butler and Stark, I guess, for the county seat. What can I say?
Yep.
So was you? And I know you was probably a young man, right, at that time. So
I
you
wasn't even around whenever it divided.
Okay.
It was 1920.
Okay.
And my grandpa Drew Reddish, who was the oldest of the 14 kids,
Right.
was a county commissioner then. And they had a vote to divide the county at the river, New River. And he voted for it, he said. And it was unanimous because there was a lot of tension about where the courthouse is to be.
Yep.
That was a problem.
Okay, so was that the main fight over that? Was the courthouse? Okay.
That was it. Because transportation then was horse and buggy, you see.
Right.
And going to and from was very important. So one time it was Lake Butler, and then again it was in Stark. Then it changed back and forth a couple of times.
Which is funny because Henry County down in South Florida near Lake Okeechobee has experienced the same issue because Henry County, you've got Clewiston, which I think ended up being the county seat, but they battled back and forth because it's a rural county like Bradford, and there was a big thing that happened, trying to determine in what community the courthouse was going to be, and they finally settled it. But in Bradford's case, it made more sense to just split along the river and then let Union develop and Bradford grow as they were working.
Yeah, that worked out fine.
Yeah.
So at that time, Dolph, you can join in too on this one. So at that time, what was more populous and maybe what had more buildings, Lake Butler or Stark? Or was it about the same?
It was fairly equal, I think.
Really?
During that time.
Back then, Rayford was a major part of Rayford.
Somebody has told me that. Explain that, Dolph.
And Lodi was a major issue with Bradford County, and Rayford was, and then it evolved. When after they split, what become Lake Butler and Stark developed.
So you were saying about Rayford, which intrigues me. So Rayford was a focal point in this. What was going on in Rayford? I'm assuming a lot of farming.
One of the big things was a big cotton gin there.
Okay.
Our great grandfather, Rich.
Right.
He had a big cotton gin there, and there were other things going on there that a lot of timber.
Right.
And I think. Well, a lot of farming around there. Right. And somehow people just congregated.
They had a railroad come in there.
Yeah, the railroad.
That was one of the major issues.
That was it, yeah. And this railroad brought in a bugler, they called it, salesperson.
The bugler. You told me about the. Tell him about the bugler.
Yeah, he'd blow his bugle on the back end of the train, and it would stop there for a bit, and then he'd sell goods. And this one night, he decided to spend the night there, and he made a pass at one of the rich boys' wives.
Uh-oh.
And it's one of our relatives, and this guy says she told him about it, and he went. The bugler went to the bar, and he had a hotel somewhere there to spend the night, and so he was having a drink, and this rich boy, after he found out that he made a pass, he said, "I'll kill the bastard." And so he got his pistol and went over there, and he found him in the bar and walked up to him, and he said, "I understand you made a pass to my wife, and I'm going to kill you, you so-and-so." And by that time, the guy pulled out a derringer and shot him, and then he shot him, killed each other.
Oh no.
Oh no.
Yeah.
Wow.
Oh wow.
Over a pass at a woman. Wow.
But that's the way.
That's the way it was
back then.
Mm-hmm.
There was a number of people killed like that. I could tell you a lot of stories like that.
Happens like that today too.
So when did the prison come into effect? So because it's mainly in Rayford, it's in Union County, a lot of it. So when did that come into effect, guys?
It was there whenever I was a kid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So it's been around
a long time.
What is it now?
The prison.
I would say 100 years or better.
Really?
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah. Because it was there the whole time I'd been in this area.
Gotcha.
So and now, not all three prisons, right? Just Union, right? Correctional.
Right. And that's where the electric chair was.
Okay, and that's where it was at that time.
Yeah.
Okay.
Then they moved it over to Florida prison.
To Florida State Prison. That's where we fried Mr. Bundy. Oh, here we go. Does that look familiar, Dolph, to you or anything?
Yeah.
So there we go. Dave, go back to that older picture. I want to see if Dolph or Drew are both. Do you recognize that? I know you probably not the time period, but is that the way it sort of looked back when you and Dolph was growing up?
As a matter of fact, that bank was one of our kinfolks that built it.
So the bank right over here on the corner right here, right?
It's still there.
And
that's the Chamber of Commerce now, right?
Yeah.
Chamber of Commerce building.
Yeah, and Dr. Rich was one of his sons.
I did some banking there in that building.
So over here to the left, we used to be, you remember Andrew's Drug or whatever it was there? The drugstore, was that there as well?
Mitchell's Drugs.
Mitchell's Drugs, I'm sorry, yes, my bad.
Mitchell Drugstore.
Mitchell's,
Yeah.
yes.
Now, 301 comes up. It's also called Walnut. When did that split? Right there where the tank is. I understand.
You're talking where the water tower is?
No. So actually, I've done a little bit of history on this one. Walnut Street in Stark paralleled the railroad tracks for years.
Right.
And when 301 became a 4-lane road, the city of Stark had an absolute fit about it because they did not want a 4-lane road going right by or right through downtown Stark. Mm-hmm. So 301, the state ended up getting the land, and that's the reason why there's a curve right there at the split. So where the Swamp Car Wash is and the big military gun right there by Hardee's and Iliano's, that is where the main drag went. But Walnut Street continued on north and crosses Call Street right at the Florida Theater, and then goes past the Methodist Church and then continues north on up. But 301 became Temple Avenue. Temple Avenue didn't even exist as much more than a side road until the Florida Department of Transportation widened 301 to a 4-lane road, and they bought that land, and that's the reason why there's that curve that takes it up. And actually, it's interesting because for those that know the territory, 301 or Temple Avenue is, a lot of people think that where Madison Street and Temple Avenue intersect, that's not the downtown intersection of the Stark. It is actually at Call Street and Walnut, which is where the theater is. the 300 block west is where 301 is. So the numbering system's a little weird because the original addresses of Call Street and Walnut Street in downtown Stark is where the addresses begin. It wasn't until DOT bought the land to 4-lane 301 coming from the south going north.
I was
how
a deputy when that happened.
Yes.
I was a deputy when that happened. I went through all that as a deputy sheriff.
Right.
And it made a major change to start.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just going to say that what you were saying, Kurt, probably made a big time major change of Stark.
And I think that's where Stark's at now. Is now they got the bypass.
Yeah.
And I think Stark's expanding out now.
Yes.
It's going to happen.
It's going to happen, and that's what I was just going to. Do you see that, Drew, Dolph? Do you see it expanding out more?
Yeah. And just to as a point of clarification, because I'm trying to research as much as I can. The original Florida State Prison was referred to as the Florida Prison, opened in 1913.
Oh, wow.
And that's what became the Rayford Prison. Became Rayford, and then became Union Correctional. So what Union Correctional is now, UCI now, was the site of the original Florida State Prison that opened in 1913. The current Florida State Prison, with the electric chair and everything like that opened in 1961 at where it is right now. But the original Union Correctional was the original prison that opened in 1913 at its
That's why these guys were saying they remember it when they was a little boy because it was already there.
Correct. Yes.
Because you was born in 1920?
I was born in 1930.
1930. So that must have been there 15, 16 years already.
Exactly. Yeah, already. I only remember seeing it all when I was.
Right. So, Dave, go to another picture. They say they remember something like this here. What else do we have? Of course, there's the look at the Florida Theater there. The water tower. How long has that been around?
Yeah.
Do you know, Drew?
As long as I can remember.
Yeah.
Okay.
The city's got to have water.
Yeah.
Pressure.
And pressure, right? That's right.
As long as I've been around.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay. How about Dave? Got another one? Okay, we know about that. That was my room there, but just some of these old pictures I know brings back some memories. Do you remember that right there, Dolph or Drew?
Canova Drugstore was here for a long time.
That says City Market. There's a City Market.
There was a City Market. What's the next one to it? That's intriguing. Some variety store. You see that, Drew?
It's.
I can't. Governor's Variety Store?
No, stable there.
No, that's C.V. Hooper. C.V. Hooper's Variety Store. That's Hoover's Variety Store. And then the livery is over to the right of that in this photo. But that's Hoover's Variety Store, which is next to the City Market.
That's before his time. That was during your relative's time.
This picture, if I'm not mistaken, was in the 1900s, late 1890s, early 1900s.
Yeah,
because this road, I believe, is
that called?
I believe it may have been Call Street, but I think it was actually closer towards Washington area. Washington Street, where 16 came in,
right?
That was another development way back in the day.
Old by the railroad tracks.
Yes.
By the CSX, there used to be an old store right there.
That's correct. I believe this was Brownlee Street or Washington Street area. The thing about the history of Stark is, and I know you guys are familiar with this one, is that Stark actually, in a way, was like two small communities that eventually merged because there was a railroad station.
Yeah.
That was there at 16, which is where the livery is and the variety store was. And then you go further down where Call Street is, and that was more the downtown, and people would get off the train, and then they would walk or ride the buggies to the Call Street area because that's where the little hotel was and everything like that.
Saloons, restaurants.
That sort of thing, right there along the Call Street area. So it was kind of like two smaller little areas that people would go back and forth in, and then it filled in as the city grew during the early part of the 20th century.
Yeah. Michael Bach says, Jimmy Bowers, hello, how are you? I work with Jimmy over in Lake City. I remember Mr. Bill Reddish's store quite well. That was Michael Bach saying that. So that's what he says he does.
He had it for years and years. Yeah.
Hey, my little buddy Jana Ray Reddish want me to ask you something. Who won the punt, pass, and kick award at 8 years old?
That would be me.
That would be you?
Yes, it would.
Yeah. So you were the punt, pass, and kick champion?
He was pretty good at it. Yeah.
But you played football for Bradford, though, didn't you? Yeah. You want to tell us a little bit about that?
No, sir.
God, I can't get it.
They both played.
Oh yeah, I know. Yeah, they both played.
He was a good high school football player.
I've heard that too.
Tailback.
Yeah, I heard that. I heard you had a couple of Russian records at one time.
Yeah.
Did he still have a hard head?
Hey, he just shrugging that shoulder, man. He ain't saying a thing. Jana's trying to bait you too. You see that, right?
Yeah, I see that.
Yeah. Debbie Testone said, I was last baby born in Bradford, 1963. Been here ever since. Never left. I know Mr. Reddish very well.
Who was that?
This is Tammy Testone. Yeah, you're shaking your head there.
She lives out off of 225 in Sampson City now, but lived in Stark, I believe. Now, Tammy, you may have to correct me on this one.
Yeah,
I know she was because she lived on the south side of town, and then moved out to off 225, where her family's at now. I believe.
I got a question.
Sure.
The old white building used to be on Washington Street that was falling down, and down. This is a picture of it inside it used to be a grocery store. Who owned that store?
Do you know?
That's the store. Miss Elise from the title company has that picture in her office. And when I bought the property, she says, "Kirk, you might want to take a copy of this."
Wow.
And I'm not sure who owned that grocery store. That math goes back. That's in the 20s or 30s.
Yeah, at least.
One of the people that had a nice store there was one of my grandpa Jake Sapp's brothers, Sapp Grocery. It was, let's see, where was it? It was along there, just about where the telegraph is.
Okay.
Store.
So right there on the Call Street area, there. Okay.
Yep. And then Nasworthy, I believe, got it later on. C.H. Nasworthy.
That's interesting. Michael Bach says, I was born in Bradford County Hospital in 1967. Wow. You see, I was the original Florida prison, celebrating what you gentlemen said, about 110 years or so.
That's correct.
So, Brian Johns, my dad used to do some welding on the old jail cells for Mr. Dolph when he was sheriff of Bradford County. The old jail was next to where the library is now. Right?
Yeah.
Yep. So
that's where I first went to work with the sheriff's office.
Okay.
Is it still there?
No.
Is that building? That building's not there anymore.
They tore it down.
Yeah.
And got it annexed to the schools.
Right.
Was it? And I may be mistaken now, because I have to ask you guys. Where the old jail was, is that it was next to where the library is now? Is that where the retention pond is there now?
No.
Right there by Pratt, or was that
the original jail?
It's west of the retention pond.
Okay, the other side. Okay.
Well, that was
That
school.
school actually is a school now.
Whenever my dad was sheriff, the jail was on the premises of the courthouse, on the corner.
Okay.
Yeah, on the north end.
Okay.
Okay.
And then after that, a new one was built around near his house.
On Pratt Street.
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
Dave.
That's where I went to work.
I'm loving it.
I am loving this, man. I am telling you, we all guys are history buffs. I know you are. This is very intriguing to me, and don't you think I haven't learned a lot right here and trying to retain everything?
Yeah.
You guys are a wealth of information, Tommy. I appreciate you getting them down here along with Kurt.
And instigator behind it, which is cool.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, this is a wealth of information, and people are just chiming in. Tammy Testo wanted me to ask one of you, I'm assuming it's you, Dolph. Ask Mr. Reddish, does he know that last year they stopped delivering babies at the Stark Hospital?
Wow.
That's a great question. I don't know. Do you know? I don't know.
I know I was delivered out at the farm.
Yeah, yeah, that's the way it was back then.
In a sharecropper's house in the back field.
Right.
Another 6 was up front, and another house on the same land.
Wow. And what were they called back then? I know there was doctors and stuff. I get
Midwife.
it. Midwives. Thank you.
Yeah.
That was the word I was looking for. So midwives. That's exactly right. Good night, Miss Cunningham. I hope you enjoyed the show. Mr. Matt Peters joining us. Sharon Petterpin said, Dolph Reddish was sheriff when we moved to Lardy. I worked at the courthouse and saw him very frequently. Tommy Reddish is our neighbor and fenced in the backyard after we moved to Stark. Where is John Reddish is the question. He is my buddy from Stark Christian Church. Good families.
Well, he's out on the old farm.
He lived on the almost exact area where I was born. Almost in spitting distance. He tore the house down and he built a house, but it's a little bit.
Wow. Okay, so people are remembering. Lorna says the Methodist Church's front door opened to where the passengers got off the train. Does that sound? Is that right, Tommy? You think?
I don't know.
She said the Methodist Church's front door is where the passengers got off the train.
That's probably close. Right
That's got to be close. I would assume.
Behind the church. I don't know how it happened, but whatever Lorna says is right.
Okay.
Yes, dear. Yes,
yeah. So, I got to. All right. Let's see. Named Summer and Thornton married named Testone. She said her maiden name, I guess, was Sumner, and then Thornton, and then her married name was Testone. So, Dolph, I don't know if you probably, I'm sure you remember who this lady is. She comes on the show all the time. Her grandson, isn't it? He's autistic, and but he loves watching us, and he watches us each and every week. Shirley said Stark had an ice plant at one time.
Yeah, it wasn't that long ago shut down.
That was over by the railroad, yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, was the ice plant over where the CSX place is now?
South of the CSX plant.
It was on the
right by the Jackson,
east side of the railroad.
The building.
Railroad is north and south.
Just north of Teal Tile.
Okay. Yes, I know where that's at.
They had block ice as well.
Yes.
That was big whenever the Iceman came to the farm.
Yeah.
He'd bring the ice. Big.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, man.
That was the greatest time, wasn't
it? We dug a hole in the backyard and then it bought up 100-pound blocks to put in that hole.
Sawdust around it.
Yep. Instead of ice blocks, we had a hole in the ground.
Right.
To keep the ice in. We'd go out and chip a piece of that ice out of that hole and carry it in the house.
When you was working on the farm and doing all that hard labor, man, that nice cold piece of ice tasted good, didn't it?
But I remember helping dig the hole.
Dig the hole.
We kept sweet potatoes in the bank and our white potatoes in a bank. We'd go out and dig them out, And then we had a smokehouse that had all the sausage hanging in it and meat, all kinds of pork. We made our own lard. I came home from school, big thing for dessert was to get a biscuit.
Right.
Stick my finger in it, pour it full of syrup. Something. And boy, that was good.
It's still good.
That sounds still good, hey man.
And then my mother always had sausage cooked.
Oh, wow.
Messing with my sweet tooth.
I know it's getting a little late, gentlemen, and I don't want to keep you out too long, but I'm gonna tell you what, Kurt. I enjoyed this so much, and I want to do this again.
I want to do it again.
I want to bring them back again because there is a lot more questions I'd like to ask, and I just want to read off a couple of more. I know Tommy's been keeping up with some of the comments. Matt Peterson says, I remember playing baseball where the library was now when he was a kid. Does that sound about right?
At the rec department field, that's where it's softball, baseball,
right,
flag football.
Just they did it. Wow.
That's by the water tank,
Yeah,
right.
Water tower. Yep.
When I moved in town, I think they had their own electric company here too, didn't they? Power.
Did they have their own power company
We had
here?
our own generation.
We had a backup, kind of a.
We had generators out there. Let's see, as you go out of
Called Florida Pest Control.
Right across the Florida Pest.
Well, where
this
Yeah.
plant's at now,
The
or
thing
they,
is-
yeah, it's fenced all in.
the thing.
The thing.
Yeah, we generated our own electricity not long ago.
He says, Ben Peterson says, as a kid, I was on the bowling league at the start lanes off of 301 North, and that's a shame what happened to that place. I hear that used to be the place to go
Place to go until the fire. Yeah.
until the fire. Tommy, or maybe I'll let you guys or whoever wants to answer. Why did they not ever rebuild that back?
Don't know. I don't know who owned it.
Somebody told me Slothman owned that land. Could that be true, Tommy? Dr. Slothman?
There was
I
a,
don't know.
last I heard,
No.
St. Augustine owned it.
Dr. Slothman, the eye doctor, am I saying that right?
Lance Sloffman, I don't know I don't know who owned that building. I have no clue.
I don't either.
I know that there's been talk about wanting to reopen that place, some gentlemen. But I guess I don't know what's going on there with that. That'd be maybe something to look into.
It's costly. It's costly.
I'll have you.
Yeah, they're very costly. Lanes are expensive.
I hear it's $1 million or so.
Oh, easy.
I don't think there's enough support to handle the thing.
Exactly.
Right.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
I
that's
gotcha.
it. I mean, the cost versus what you would get in return.
Good return.
Yeah,
Return.
yeah,
Yeah, that was a big building. I don't have any lanes there. There were a number of lanes for start. It was
Well, when I moved in here, the busiest part of that building was the bar.
right.
yeah.
And that little eatery, because I did go visit that when I was first looking at land here when I was still in the service. That little place had some great food in
There
it.
was some good food.
Yeah.
How many lanes? What do you recall? How many lanes?
I want to say there was 18, wasn't it?
18?
I want to say there was 18 lanes in there. Somebody correct me if I'm wrong, but I want to say there was 18 lanes in there. And I'm with Tommy. I thought that was pretty good for a start.
Bowling alley?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I remember it.
Yeah, that had about 12 to 18 lanes or something like
I
that. It
don't
was
know,
pretty
it's
good for a
pretty
start.
big.
I know when I went in there was leagues in there bowling.
Yeah.
Like
I
he
had
said.
a handyman fence company league at one time.
So
We bowled regularly. there.
Really?
Yeah.
So there you go. Let's go through these real quick. My sister Phyllis Lyons Warren said, my sister was born there in '59. She was one of the last born in Stark. Randy Brooks says, I was born at Bradford Hospital in 1958. Dr. A.J. Berry delivered me. Y'all know that name, don't you?
I knew him quite well.
Yeah, everybody knows him.
He's nice.
Nice fellow. Yeah. Ice plant corner of Teal and Tile, just like you said. No, where Teal and Tile, the warehouse is down. Chrissy and Ricky
The
Thompson's
bowling
on.
alley was put in there during World War II.
Oh, I didn't know that.
They want, Shirley wants to know, do you remember when the Florida bank at Stark was robbed?
No.
No.
Okay. So no, Shirley, that would be the answer there. I don't remember that. This has been an awesome show. Really enjoyed watching tonight. Thank you again, brother. Y'all be safe. That's Christopher Miracle. Thank you for joining us. Our yes where square was, and yes, it did. The whole city we sold. GRU next to Roy's Grocery. That's Chrissy Thompson was saying that.
Yeah.
So, oh no, okay, no doctor and then say, okay, I got you. Dr. Bishi owned it. Don't know if I'm spelling it right. Does that sound right, Bishi?
No.
Not sure. There has been talk about a new bowling alley and skating rink and a drive-in theater in Bradford. Yeah, there has, and I think that's just in the talking process. Well, like you said, you've looked into it. Bowling lanes are expensive. That'd be an expensive venture to undertake. A skating rink wouldn't be it'd probably cheaper than that.
Cheaper, it would be cheaper.
Yeah.
The lanes, last time I checked, they were like $20,000 a lane. That's a lot of money.
Yes, it is.
Drive-in theater would probably be the best route.
Yeah.
Well, and here we go. And just like you guys said and Tommy said, Mary Lyon said, not enough revenue to keep it maintained, that bowling alley, and I agree with that. Drive-in theater was where the Ford dealership is now.
Yeah.
Correct.
Remember that? The drive-in theater. Where the
Wow,
Ford...
I do remember that. That's a ways back now.
You remember that, Drew?
It was out there east of Stark on 230.
Out by Murray Ford, ain't it?
301, dog.
Huh?
301.
Yeah, right there where Murray Ford is.
In
that
that
property
area?
right there.
Bowling alley?
No,
the drive-in theater.
Theater, dog.
It was out that way somewhere.
It was out there. It was east to start on the right-hand side going out on 230, about across the creek.
That's when
past
the drive-in?
hospital, right out past the hospital.
Pavette Creek.
That's where it's at.
Pravat Creek.
I think so.
Out there where, well, I'll agree
I
with
remember the kid
everybody.
coming over here with mom and dad though.
So you sort of remembering
I
that
do.
too a little bit?
Yeah, I was little. I don't know.
So Shirley said they used to bowl in a league here. Chrissy said the city of Stark had a league. I worked there when I was 21 years old when Pat and Bonnie Wagner was managing it. Remember that name?
No.
No, they don't
Did
remember.
you say bowling alley or drive-in theater?
Drive-in
It was
theater.
out there past the hospital on the right.
I
Yeah.
don't agree to disagree with you.
No, we love it. Family. Ricky was born in Stark in 1957 in Stark Hospital also. Original skating rink where Meridian is now. You remember that?
The only one I know is there might have been a second. I don't know.
Tommy, tell me if I'm correct here. I thought the skating rink was in Lottie where Waters grows.
That's the only skater. Stark didn't have a skating rink that I know of. Yes,
Right.
Bonnie had one. Yeah, we had a bowling alley here, just north of us.
Right.
I mean,
Yeah, it's on Schaefer Street there, just south of the fairgrounds area.
My God, there's just, man, I'm just interested in this. I know I need to get you gentlemen out of here. There was a theater on 230, Phyllis Warren said. So you're right,
There's
dog.
a drive-in theater.
There too, so.
That's the only one I remember.
Do you remember the horse race track beside the drive-in?
yeah.
They're like, yeah.
I was
So, Mrs. Peak bought that property. I don't know who that is. Mrs. Peak?
Well, that was Jimmy Peake's wife.
Oh, okay. I guess she's talking about the bowling alley property. Mrs. Peak must have bought that, according to what Phyllis Warren said. I don't know. I can't confirm or deny that. The first bowling alley was on 100 going toward Keystone next to Alligator Creek.
Wow.
Yes. Yes, it is right. Yes, because I remember going there or hearing about that one. Right now, that is where DOT is storing all their material for the overpass.
Really?
It's across from Orangewood Apartments.
Well, man, it sparked you up because...
Yes, that's where, because when it was a bowling alley, then the bowling alley moved and they put a mattress factory there, and then the mattress store or storage, whatever it is, that burnt down. And it's been a vacant lot ever since, and DOT is using that now for all this clay and lime rock and material for the overpass construction.
Right out next to the school.
Yes, right, just north of Southside Elementary School. That was that's right. I remember that now. It was the bowling alley that got moved when they expanded it. It became a mattress store or something like that one, and then it burnt down in.
I don't know.
Lorna said it used to be Vogue.
Was it Vogue?
That's what she said.
I know it was a commercial building. I thought I sold mattresses there. I thought it was a mattress store. But
I remember that it turned into the mattress place. That it turned into it according.
Okay.
Charlie Flynn owned it. The whatever mattress store, sewing factory. Charlie
Right.
Flynn owned that.
Okay. That's.
I know that name. I've heard that name. Chrissy Thompson said sewing factory after bowling factory. That could have been.
I guess it was bowling. I've never bowled. Yes, we bowled there behind. Yes.
Yeah.
Let's see. Mattress factory.
Yeah, I remember when because I remember hearing about it when it caught fire.
Yeah, burnt down.
It burnt down, and then they bulldozed it, cleared it, and now it's been a vacant lot for years. And now that's where they're storing all the supplies and material for the.
Okay. Yep, I do remember that too now vaguely. So, well, gentlemen, it's been a great time. He said, "Let's go."
He's ready to go.
Hey, I want you to come back. Do you mind coming back at another time when we can?
When I get to be 100.
When you get to be
Well,
Dolph Reddish here.
It's after his bedtime.
Yeah, there you go. We want to get you guys out of here. I really appreciate you coming in. Would you mind coming back at some point and talking a little bit? Hey, I really appreciate it. Drew Reddish, Dolph Reddish, Tommy Reddish in the back, and Mr. Kurt Miracle. We're going to come back and get these gentlemen out of here. We're going to take a commercial break so we can pay some bills. Be right back after this commercial break.
Good job, man.
All right, hey, you lip readers. There we go.
Okay.
We got it back.
So what we were saying was that this has just been an amazing show.
Yeah.
We love history, we're both history buffs, and but what we were saying was that if you enjoy this, we want to keep doing this.
Absolutely,
we want to do this one. However, during the community calendar, the community bulletin board on the Chuck Kramer Morning Show on WEAG 106.3 FM, they will talk about how the Bradford County Historical Society will open its doors 2 or 3 times a month with different guests that come in to talk about the history. It is an amazing opportunity for you to really soak in. That I've done this because that's where I pick up on things, and what we talked about tonight, it sparked something, and I was like, oh, I remember reading that, or I heard that, or something. It was great, and this is an opportunity for you to enjoy the history as much as we do.
Yeah.
Now, the Historical Society, where exactly is that located?
So that's on Call Street.
That is indeed on Call Street.
It's sort of
right across the street from Tony and Al.
That's sort of that. Yeah, it is pretty much.
It is actually
brick building right there next
to
the track.
It is the Andrews Center at Santa Fe College across the street from It's Your Day Bridal, right there on Call Street, just west of the railroad.
I've got to correct you, sir. You wasn't in there when this happened to me because Michael came up for the ball game on Friday night.
Yeah.
And on all my sheets, if you look at everything, I want to show you, Mike, just so we're on the same page. I'll have to correct you on something. What does this say?
You're asking me to read something about my
glasses. Oh, I'm sorry. Yeah, the third one.
Hold on. There we go. The third one. Tony and... Oh, no, the third one. Thompson's Garage Law.
I'm sorry. Okay, not the promo. Go to that one.
Okay. Tony and Al's Deli.
All right.
Stark.
So, it's what my promo sheet says. It's what everything says. So I'm doing the ball game. Start talking about our sponsors. We ate at Tony and Al's that night. Lynn Vellis, y'all know, is married to Tony.
Sure.
Which is Chuck's daughter.
Right.
Yeah.
So I get a text and go, it's Tony's. There is no owl. You knew I was going to get that, didn't you? There is no owls anymore.
Yeah,
it's just Tony's. So I'm going to have to scratch that one now.
And I'm guilty.
I still do it.
Guilty as charged. And the thing about this is,
me too.
Yeah, well, and the thing is, it's been Tony and Al's for so long. That it's going to take some time. Work with us.
It is going to take some time.
You know, Lynn. Apologies in advance. But it's Tony's Deli
down there on the corner at Tony's and no owl.
And no owls, right?
No owls.
So, but she did it jokingly because she didn't. Yeah, no owls. No owls. OWLS. No owls.
No owls.
But anyway. It was a great show.
It was.
Can we get to some weather and then we'll close her down?
Yeah, let's take a look at some weather real quick. Excuse me. Let's throw up the tropical update first. Let me give you a quick update on what's going on here. We've got 2 areas of disturbed weather. It's going to be in the central southern part of the Atlantic, headed towards the Caribbean Sea. The one of concern, if you want to call it that, is approaching the Leeward Islands. Not that big of a deal. It's a 40% development over 5 days, but it's probably going to get torn apart as it moves over Hispaniola and over Cuba, making its way towards Texas. I don't see it coming towards Florida. We're still going to watch it. Pay attention to Austin's Weather Service and Austin's hurricane pages on Facebook. He'll make sure he gets you squared away on that. Let's take a look at the pollen forecast. You can see the pollen numbers are high, especially the grasses and ragweed. However, those numbers will drop as we make our way past Friday. Friday's going to be our worst day, medium to high levels, but it'll start to drop off again as we make our way into the weekend. Why? Because we have more rain in the forecast. The good news is that it's going to drop off a little bit. Chance of rain for the rest of this week coming on at about 40%. However, it will start to pick up again as we make our way through the weekend as a frontal boundary makes its way through, giving us a little bit of a cool front. So we're going to get dry again, but as it stalls out over Florida, an increase in moisture as we move forward on that one. Regionally, you can see how the map is looking. Again, beautiful conditions. Pascagoula, Nashville, Atlanta, Charlotte. Beautiful, sunny skies, cooler temperatures, lower humidity because of that cold front that's going to make its way towards us. Even Tallahassee is going to get in on the act with some sunny skies, but it's still going to be warm, and the humidity is going to be in place. But areas of Stark, Gainesville, and Ocala southward towards Orlando and further south, a little bit cooler, temperatures in the 80s, but it's going to still have that chance of rain. The nice part is the farther north you go, the better the weather is going to be as we make our way through the end of this week. I'll show you that on the local forecast. You can see a chance of afternoon showers and thunderstorms each day through Friday. Wash, rinse, repeat. Chance of showers moving into the forecast anytime after about 2:30 in the afternoon. That's the way it's going to be. Better tomorrow. Not too bad Thursday. Chance of rain ease back on Friday. Here's the news that we were talking about, though. If you didn't miss it, if you didn't catch it rather earlier, if we get rain in Gainesville on Thursday, there is a chance, not locked in yet, but a chance. David, you will be at home broadcasting the Bradford Eastside football game because Citizens Field is probably not going to be able to be used because of the ground conditions.
That's exactly right. And thanks for that, Michael. Thanks for that great weather report. Look, I want to close out the show. It was a great show tonight. I want to thank our guests tonight, Mr. Kurt Miracle,
absolutely,
Mr. Drew Reddish, Mr. Dolph Reddish, Mr. Tommy Reddish. Also, Dixie was here. Kurt's, should I say, significant other. And she was here tonight as well, live audience. I want to thank our audience for all the questions, all the comments, and joining us that where we thought was a very entertaining show, and it was, and we're going to do this again. Maybe the Reddishes can come back on, or maybe we'll get some others as well. There's other people in the community I'm sure that I'd like to see from their eyes and their hearts of Stark and Bradford. On behalf of the missing...
Oh, wait, hold on a second.
Oh, we got something?
I'd just like to share, we just passed 911.
Yes.
Yes.
And
in remembrance of.
And on the 18th of this month is going to be what?
A very busy day for me. But that's business.
On the Spot with David Rodgers anniversary, 4 years.
4 years.
Right.
That's right.
That's right. Yes, indeed.
4 years. So, wow, I cannot believe we've been doing this for 4 years. David, maybe that show will talk about how all this evolved and how we all became as one. Maybe that's a great time to bring back some memories. Maybe we can go back and pull some stuff, huh?
Yeah, maybe.
Maybe we can have Austin help us out, pull some stuff. Wouldn't that be a great show?
That would be a good show. That would be on the 20th, Tuesday the 20th. I look
Tuesday the 20th.
18th is what? Monday?
That's a Sunday.
That's a Sunday.
That's a Sunday.
Yeah, uh-huh.
Okay.
So, hey, that's
Tuesday
great.
night?
Yeah, absolutely.
Tuesday the 20th? Absolutely. I like it.
On behalf of the Missing Byron Bagwell, by the way, Mr. Mitchell Gunner, just say real quick, he's got a show Thursday night.
Yes.
Oh, yeah.
He's got a very beautiful guest that's coming on. She races in the Top Fuel. Ines, I can't think of her name. Julie, Janet or Julie.
You're going to have to tune in and find out.
Yeah, you're going to have to tune in and find out. Mr. Mitchell Gunner is your host on that on the spot Motorsports Media.
Yes.
Now we changed the name, and I'll discuss that, why we changed that. On behalf of Mr. Dave Holland, the Dancing Destroyer, Mr. Michael Heater, my name is David Rodgers. God bless you guys. Have a great night. Have a great week. We'll see you next time.
You are the greatest daddy.
Turn your world around. Pick you up when you're feeling down. Now nothing can change what you mean to me.
I can swing on swing by myself.
There's a lot that I can say. Just hold me now.
Even though I miss you pushing me.
'Cause our love will light the way.
Can't you see me?
Baby, you're all that I want. When you God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains to the prairies, to the oceans white with foam. God bless America, my home, sweet home. God bless America, land that I love. Stand beside her and guide her through the night with a light from above, from the mountains.
Just in case you come home and kiss me goodnight. I love you so much.
We're in heaven.
I miss you, Daddy.